Today I'm talking with Kevin Brown of RBS, and we're going to have a discussion about the recent Sibos event in Toronto. So before Sibos, I had an interview with Simon Newstead of RBS, where he talked about that he was cautiously optimistic about where the industry was going and about the Sibos event itself. And, and during Sibos in Toronto, there was a lot of focus on customer relationships and the regulatory environment, and also, of course, we know there's renewed fears about the economic volatility right at the moment. So now that we're on the other side of Sibos, what are your views? Would you say that you're still cautiously optimistic?
Yeah, I think cautiously optimistic describes the mood reasonably well. I participated in a number of the on-site sessions and had a number of meetings both with clients and with vendors. And the mood was optimistic, but in a very practical sense. People were focusing on the issues and how they dealt with the issues, particularly around liquidity. One of the key topics, certainly that I was involved in discussing both with clients and on one of the forums, was around intraday liquidity and the impact of the regulatory changes that are flowing through. People were particularly interested in the fact that we'd experienced perhaps the forefront of that with the FSA's intervention. And clearly, I think the mood was, let's understand how the practical delivery of these regulations will impact both our businesses and our clients' businesses. I think one of the things that did sort of strike me was, a general consistency in people's approach, looking for collaborative, low-cost solutions where needed, but also asking the regulators to be consistent in their application. I think one of the biggest fears was that regulators would implement these changes in an inconsistent fashion, and therefore certainly banks like ourselves who operate across multi-countries would end up with a multitude of different implementations to manage our client interfaces.
Yeah, I saw that as well. There was a lot of sober comment, a lot of practical comment on Basel III and liquidity.
It did, but with a very clear focus on the issues that we should, as organisations, collaborate on, which are, in a sense, those things that are across the industry, versus those things where, Sibos it always brings out the whole mix of relationships, because we're all fiercely competitive for business from each other, but equally we're often clients of each other, and we collaborate as well. But the key thing is making sure that you keep your clients clear in your mind in terms of the propositions that they need, and that where you work together to deliver a proposition that's right for those clients.
I understand RBS launched a new payments and liquidity product at Sibos, which was received pretty well. So in addition to that product, what other payments and liquidity products did you notice at the show that impressed you?
Just picking up on certainly what we launched. One of the two key things we were trying to do was utilise some of our skills to deliver added value services to our clients in the current environment. And we launched two products. We launched the FI Global Account, which again is aimed at simplifying delivery of services to financial institutions and their clients, helping them reduce costs and manage their risk and FX across the countries that their clients may well operate. That was certainly well received. We also launched a 95-day investment deposit account, and again this seeks to try and give clients a better return for a different period of deposit, again building on some of the regulatory changes in terms of the timeframes for those deposits and how we treat those deposits. More broadly, I think the hot topics really from a corporate and a product perspective, which many of us are engaged in terms of either we have products already or we are participating in the pilot activity that's moving these products forward, were EBAM, very hot topic, e-invoicing, again challenges around standards from a global perspective, but clearly becoming more focused in terms of wanting integration with ERP systems to deliver enhanced value for your clients. And then finally, 3S Key was I think one of the hot topics in terms of the attendees at sessions. And again, with the pilot activity that's going on and the number of banks that are looking to participate, this is clearly going to be a topic that will continue to be in the forefront of both corporates and banks' minds going forward.
Yes, Swift launched their 3S Key with a group of French banks last year, and of course this year it was launched on a wider release, and I guess the session was extremely well attended. I mean, in addition to reducing costs and more sophisticated products, I mean, does this show how important security is for corporates?
Security is always an issue with corporates and with banks, clearly. And what we're always looking to do is make sure that we continually challenge ourselves to have the right security solutions in place to serve our clients' needs. And that may mean using a multitude of different standards in terms of activity. And clearly, what we're seeing is, whilst there's some early adoption, and you talk about the French, the base of 3S Key users is broadening quite quickly. And clearly that interactivity between the corporates and the banks is going to be important when you talk about reducing costs and improving efficiency going forward in a very secure way.